You know, my mom once told me when I was a young kid, I don't know, maybe 12, 13 years old. My dad had died when I was 10, and my mom took over that role of like guiding me, you know, and she's like, look, Grant, you are the people you hang around. You know, at 12 years old, 13, you're going to resist everything. All the wisdom of your parents is resisted. But today, I know it's true. In fact, today, I would take that great statement that my mother made and say, you're not just a product of your environment. You're a product of all that surrounds you and your environment. That includes the people, your beliefs, the TV you watch, the newspapers you read, the friends you have, the movies you watch, your hobbies, your interests, your family. Everything else that you're involved with influences your environment.
If you're not feeling it, find new friends. I'm being dead serious about this. This one is real big for me. Who you hang out with is a huge deal. And again, these are all tried and true things, right? We've heard you're the whatever of the 5 friends you spent, like that's real. That one, put in the bank. Like if you're not feeling it, you need to go to meetup.com and go to 10 meetups of people that are hungry. Like it's unbelievable what happened to me when I got into the Silicon Valley world and started meeting like Mark Zuckerberg and like Ev Williams and like Travis, like it changed my life. This town, actually it's fun for me to tell this story here. South by Southwest 2007 changed my life because I hung out, I forced myself to go to a Web 2.0, which later became social media, the current state of the internet conference, South by Southwest. And I was looking at all these kids, and by the way, this is when tech wasn't cool, straight fucking nerds, but they were trying to change shit. They weren't here for kicks and giggles. They weren't here to hook up. They were here to like change the world. Like I'm gonna build a product that is gonna be in every single person's hand, like, and they have. Like the Twitters and the Facebooks and the Ubers, they did. And it was the biggest impact of my career. And it's something I think a lot about now. So anyway, real practical. If you feel motivated by this conversation or you're intrigued by it, add one new winner friend. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? 100%. Add one new winner friend and cut one loser friend. Like, yeah, I know he's been your boy since 4th grade, but he sits at home and fucking smokes weed and plays 2K all day. Like, you can only love him so much.
I always challenge people too, because everybody will do that with their romantic interests, right? They're always hunting and pursuing, and they got online dating apps, and they're looking for this sexual relationship.
Swipe to the right.
But with friends, it's just like, oh yeah, it's just like it's default. It's who your
right.
homies were. You never cut anyone. Like you'll break up with a girl if she's bad with you, but a friend, you feel like you can't break up with a friend. You know, it's this weird paradigm where
something else that you want to begin to do in order to make this your decade. You want to begin to get all the toxic people out of your life. Hello. Energy drainers, get them out of your life. See, ladies and gentlemen, it takes a lot of energy to reach your goal. It takes a lot of emotional, mental, and spiritual energy to reach your goal. And you can run faster with 100 who want to go than with one around your neck. So there are 2 kinds of relationships. Sid Simon talks about this. Nourishing relationships and toxic relationships. Nourishing relationships are the relationships that inspire you. They motivate you. They bring the best out of you. Toxic relationships are relationships with people that always criticize you. All they can do is find fault. All they can do is just exploit your weaknesses. All they can do is remind you of the mistakes that you've made in the past. These people are bad for your health. Toxic people can run your blood pressure up. One apple can spoil a whole barrel. One negative energy drainer can spoil your whole life. I know people whose lives have been ruined because somebody wasn't good for them. See, there are some people that aren't good for you. Hello? They aren't good for you. You've got to get them out of your life. See, a lot of people put up with a lot of foolishness because they don't want to die by themselves. Here's what I believe. I believe in a 1 to a box theory. Ask this question of yourself. Make a list of who you communicate with most and ask yourself the question, what kind of person am I becoming because of this relationship? Is it helping me to grow mentally and emotionally and spiritually? Am I becoming a better person because of this relationship? Do they bring out the best in me? Do they inspire me? Do they encourage me to develop my greatness? Do they make me stretch? So you got to look at the people in your life and find out what kind of person are you becoming because of that relationship. My mother used to say, birds of a feather flock together. You run around with losers, you will end up a loser.
Somebody holler, take me higher. I've been thinking too low. I've been looking too low. I've been asking too low. I've been hanging around people who talk too low. If everybody in your life, you got to feed them and encourage them, your crowd is too low. If you're the smartest person you hang around, your crowd is too low. If everybody's looking to you for help and answers, your crowd is too low. You need to hang around somebody that intimidates you, that makes you study, that makes you grow, that makes you pray. You need to get around somebody who is higher. Because iron sharpeneth iron, and great thinkers sharpen great thinkers. And for where you're going, your crowd has got to change.
Shit, man. Like, I don't even know what to say to niggas, man. I go to my hood and you be like, yo, what up? I be like, man, get the fuck out of here. I ain't talking to this nigga. What the fuck am I talking to this nigga for? You know what my grandfather told me? You don't get as far as the motherfuckers you talk to for no reason. You'll be successful as the motherfuckers that you talk to for no reason. What I mean is, if you spending your day talking to a nigga that ain't got nothing going on, what the fuck kind of information can he offer you? Can he help you learn something? Can he teach you something in the conversation?
It's by example, but show me your friends and I'll show you your future. I was very strict with my kids who they hung around with. I mean, you show me your friends, I'll show you your future. And so
I heard you, part of the reason I searched you out and found you, and awesome that you took the chopper into London, was you made a statement about if you're going to hang out on a Friday night in a pub with your buddies and watch football, that's where you'll be in 20 years.
Yeah.
I played that 10 times. I made my wife listen to it. Because I don't like watching sports and drinking beer or any of that stuff. I just want to get shit done.
Correct.
So to hear you say it, I was vindicated.
Yeah, and well, I said, if you're going to sports bars and belching and farting, watching football matches now, in 20 years you'll be the same guys. Maybe 2 or 3 of the guys will be different, but you'll still be belching and farting and think it's funny. Yeah, but I mean, Elon Musk doesn't go to Super Bowls. Elon Musk doesn't go to the World Basketball Championships. I mean, I don't. I mean, the guys that you see aren't those guys. And the eagles fly above, eagles fly alone. I got 2 or 3 guys I know for 50, 60 years. That's the extent of my friends. You know, I see them 2, 3 times every other year, and that's it. We're not hanging out. We're not, you know. It's hard. It's hard. You have to get used to being alone and not being lonely. It's lonely at the top. And whoever said it's hard to get to the top, but it's harder to stay there. You know, I've been from the penthouse to the shit house a couple of times, and I didn't like the shit house. So I made sure I got right back to the penthouse as fast as I could.
Here's how you know if someone's your friend. A, you can tell them bad news, and they'll listen. They won't tell you why, you know, you're stupid and why that bad thing happened to you and how something worse happened to them once and, you know, derail the whole conversation. You can actually tell them bad news and they'll listen. So that's a good thing. And then this is a weirder thing. You can tell them good news and they'll help you celebrate. And that's a really good way of deciding who you should have around you. Because if you have someone around you, you know, something good happens to you and you're kind of afraid to even admit it because, you know, God, something good happened to you. It's like, you let that be known and it'll certainly be taken away. So, you know, you come out and you sort of tell someone half-heartedly that something good happened to you and they give you a whack and then talk about, you know, the great thing that happened to them 3 years ago. Or worse, the great thing that happened to someone that they knew 3 years ago. You know, it's like, go away from that person. They're not helpful to you, and they're not helpful to themselves either. And so you want to surround yourself, you got to think about this. You got to surround yourself with people who want the best for the best part of you. You can hang around with weasels and losers that are trying to pull you down to justify the fact that they're spiraling downhill as well. And you know, the upside of that is you don't have to have any responsibility and you can all whine about how wretched life is, you know, so that's pretty attractive. But I would say it's also a bad medium to long-term plan. And so it's acceptable and desirable to try to surround yourself with people who are facilitating your development. You know, and you might say, well, I've got people around, I know them well, you know, they're not doing that well and they're and they don't fit into that category. It's like, what's your point? What are you going to do with them exactly? If they'll listen and cooperate with you and move towards a better future, great. If they don't pay any attention and they keep doing the same damn things over and over and they're not going anywhere and it's painful, then maybe the proper thing to do is say, you just have your misery. I'll go off and have my life. And maybe you'll wake up at some point in the future and think that's a better way of being. Because just putting up with it is, well, they call that enabling, right? You put up with that sort of behavior, you're providing tacit consent for it and even tacit approval. It's like, it's a bad idea. You have, I would say, both the right and the responsibility to surround yourself with people who are good for the best part of you. And that's not